Welcome to Inadequate Mother. I'm Hayley Brown and I'm here in a different kind of studio. This is Edge Studio, which is a beauty salon owned by my wonderful friend who I have connected with because she too is a single mom, working, self-employed, does a lot for community, has just a vibe and knows her stuff really. So today's episode we're going to be having just a general friendly chit chat because I've met her a few times and every single time we start talking and we do not stop. And that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be an episode of us talking about the beauty industry, about being a mom to teenagers, the transition from childhood to the teen years. And then also we'll talk about the beauty industry in terms of the rules changing because I find that really interesting. But without further ado, Leanne Edge, which is, I've just found out now, your name.
Hello.
Second name is Edge, which is really edgy and I love it. This is your first podcast, isn't it?
First ever podcast, yeah.
So give us some background on your kind of work and your life, your family situation, your mum, you're working, and what is it you do?
Okay, so I've been in business for about 7 years. I have been a single mom for 10 years.
It's a long time, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a really long time. I do community work, some charity work for a local women's refuge.
So I'm really interested in that because that's you as a beautician volunteering to glam up people in need.
Yeah, so I've done different elements of it. I always try and help out if they're doing collections or events. I try and attend as many events as possible. Yeah. And I've also gone into refuge and done outreach work. So we took a team of beauticians and hairstylists in and we just gave everyone a pamper day.
That's lovely. What made you get into that? Do you feel like giving helps you? Because I'm definitely someone that does that.
I enjoy it, and I also realise over the years that I'm very lucky because I became a single mom, and it's always been really tough, but I have had help and support from friends and family, and there's a lot of women who don't have that.
Yeah, I completely 100% relate to that. I constantly get people just kind of tapping you on the back going, you're amazing, you're doing so good. And then you look at your circumstance and the reasons why you're doing good and you do feel amazingly lucky, like you've had people in your life that supported you.
I always think there's people even though at times in my life I felt like, oh, this is terrible. Yeah. There's always someone in a worse situation, and I think we've always got to help people because we never know when we might need that help.
Yeah, paying it forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think when, like, sometimes even just selling my baby clothes or selling my kids' clothes, I think of all the times that I was just giving them and then I'm like, should I be doing this or should I be? So, yeah, I can completely relate to that. So that's really nice. So who do you do that with?
Black Country Women's Aid.
Black Country Women's Aid, okay. And the studio, we're here. What is it that you offer?
So my main treatments are skin. I worked for Clinique for 15 years. I was a counter girl. Oh. So that...
you look amazing. Your skin is awesome. You.
It doesn't always look awesome. But yeah, mainly skin. I do some brows as well, but skin is where it's at for me, really. I love doing facials. And
you did a facial on me and it was the bomb. Like, I felt so fresh and flush for like days afterwards. It's been years since I've had a facial because I think so much of the products you can buy now. Yeah. So it is really hard to think, oh, should I pay £80 on a facial or go and buy 2 products?
Yeah,
that
it's
are
so much easier to just do it yourself, but it's completely different, isn't it, when someone else does it?
Especially when you're using those machines all over me, like taking skin off and stuff. Yeah, so your children, how do they fit into you managing like a full-time business? Do you work full-time every day?
Yeah, so I don't work every single day. I have weekends off now, which is a non-negotiable. I always worked weekends from when I left school, so it was quite a big deal for me to drop that.
The beauty industry that you do have to do weekends.
And I also find that because I work late evenings, I'm not losing out on clients, so I'm still busy. I work Monday to Friday. Mondays and Thursdays I work till about 8-9 p.m. So those are my longer days, and it allows me to have the weekend.
Yeah, do you think that's because of the kids now being older?
Yeah,
definitely.
And because I work from home now, so initially I had a shop and then I moved it to my home. So it's allowed more flexibility, but in the same sense it also means I'm always at work.
Yeah, you don't, I suppose it's hard to
it's hard
relax.
to switch off, because if something needs doing, it's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock at night, I could just do it now. The kids are in bed, I can just go and pop in and do it.
Yeah, I think I struggle to switch off at home just because of how much of the load you carry for your home life. And I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for that, when, especially with teenagers that just have had it.
Yeah.
They've had a house, they've had a bed, they've had everything their whole life. So you as the house manager has always been there, and then they're like, well, what are you doing? You're just here? You just...
My son actually compared me to a football coach this morning.
What?
He went, Mum, you'd be a really good football coach or football manager. And I was like, why? Why is that? Because you're really good at keeping us all motivated and getting us out the door.
Oh, bless him. How old is he?
He's 14, nearly 15.
Oh, that's just, I love hearing like...
But he needs I have to constantly spoon feed him every step of the way.
But at least he's appreciating you, babe.
Yeah, in his own way.
Yeah, like a teenager that knows how to appreciate a mum. It's really, really good. Yeah, can you give us some tips on how to grow that? Not that I'm complaining, my teens are lovely. But yeah, no, it's hard seeing that cute child phase finish, and then they transition into this, I'm not going to say entitled, because I think teenagers do get a bad rap these days, or rep, or whatever you say, where they've, of this new world where everything is possible and you can become who you want and everything is at your fingertips, and they got this slight entitled kind of lack of gratitude.
It's almost like they don't see anyone else in the world apart from them and their needs in that moment. That's the toughest bit. They don't see anything going on around them. They don't understand. If they want something there and then like that, they don't think, oh, Mum's been at work for like 9 or 10 hours today. Maybe that's why it's not ready. Or
So, but you working at home, do they acknowledge you're working 9 hours? Because I think as well with remote work and being self-employed, i.e. you can be flexible, you're in charge of your diary, you don't have to leave the house. All these things make that child maybe think, is it work? Or because I think it's only recently that my kids, when they sit, my eldest is studying for exams, so she's been downstairs out of a room studying and in the same room as me for a number of hours watching me interact and do my work, and she's like, oh, actually Mum does work.
I don't think they understand that it's like real work. I think when I had my NHS job, I used to go out to work and they'd see, oh, Mum's out all day, or she's late coming back. Whereas in here, it's almost like they think, oh, Mum just has a chat to loads of her friends all day, because they see people coming and going and they probably hear us laughing. And they get to see the same faces, so they probably just think, Mum has loads of friends around all day, and they just go in there and have a laugh.
I mean, it just means you love your job,
that is pretty much my job, and I do treatments alongside it.
I think it's. I think if there's one tip that I'd say to a mum that's going to be a single mum, or on that road, is just have something work-wise that you love to do. That's really hard. Would you say that's?
Yeah, definitely, because at the end of the day, no one else is helping. You've got to do everything. You've got to pay for everything, and especially if you're the sole breadwinner, you've got to put the hours in. So you need to do something you want to enjoy.
Yeah, it's gonna, what you do every day, you become, and it impacts your mood and everything for them kids.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for the hours and the slog, because you didn't get here easily. Like, you didn't acquire the experience that you've got easily. So you put in the hard work for you now to be able to.
Yeah, definitely. To give myself that flexibility. I think for me, the freedom of being able to, I can proudly say that all through their school years, I was at everything. I've never missed anything. Every church service, assembly, school play, parents' evening, I was able to do all of it. And it's only because I was self-employed.
So how many children have you got?
3.
3. What their ages?
So I've got a almost 12-year-old, a 14-year-old and a 19-year-old.
Wow. My daughter's about to turn 19, so it's a crazy time. One of the reasons why I wanted to get into podcasting was talking to other moms that had teenagers was the only saving grace I had to feel less inadequate in that new chapter. Like, as soon as the hormones started, the cuteness stopped, and all those like craft activities and going to play barns and having play dates and all that you could kind of hide behind and busy yourself with. All of a sudden that stopped. They were projecting some different energy, and I was just completely, I've talked about it in one of my episodes, is your inner child almost has been projected through them. And it's just been the hardest chapter, I think. And so I'd love to know, like, how you've coped.
That summer when they leave primary school and they're going up to secondary school, it's almost like someone comes in, unlocks something in their brain, and they just change. It's like you lose the child. And I think now that I've got a 19-year-old, it comes back round, but it's waiting for that process of them coming back to you almost.
So it's like rite of passage, isn't it? Someone described that to me as like they need to go off, make all their mistakes, have all their challenges, and then come back to you. And also I've realised, and this helped me massively, and I hope it helps anyone that is listening, is that I have read, like, biologically and scientifically, their brains are not wired to think that you are of any value or creditable or smart. Because if they did think that, then they wouldn't go and ask other people things. They wouldn't fly out. They wouldn't go and discover new things. So they've got to almost think you're this cringy.
So Poppy will sometimes say to me, oh, I'm just going to look this up, something to do with makeup or skincare. I'm just going to look this up on the internet. And I'm like, I can guarantee this is the easiest way for you to do whatever it is she's doing. Well, how would you know? I was a makeup artist. I know, because I've done this job for over 20 years. So I know the answer to your question, but you're going to go on TikTok and find the information out from someone who knows nothing about it.
It's infuriating.
But she values that more than me giving her, and actually giving her a nice product to use properly. She'd rather go and buy a cheap product and look at how they're using it on TikTok.
It is a form of brainwashing and it is problematic. And as mothers, you're just left feeling completely inadequate, because what can you do? Like, there's, other than remove the phone, the challenge of trying to, like, reduce that social media.
That's a whole other problem in itself.
It really is. And I'm literally, the only way to get through to them, to make them understand that I'm not talking bubbles, and I'm not just saying it because I'm nagging. I'm saying it because I care, and I'm saying it because it's fact, is talking to them through TikTok and Instagrams, and the amount of things I'm sending them, hoping that they...
Sometimes with my youngest, we'll watch things, we'll watch reels together, and it's nice to look at what she's looking at.
That's good. You know what? I don't do that.
And we'll laugh together. I mean, it's not it's not a lot, but sometimes she'll be laughing at, or I'll be laughing at something, and we'll be like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And then we'll sit and have a doom scroll really, and get lost in a few together. And I feel like it's the only time we actually laugh together now.
That is a really, because honestly, I think sometimes, we know that the kids having phones is a form of easy parenting for us, especially as single moms. We've just got to hold our hands up and say, we can't do it all. We are inadequate in so many ways, and that's okay. We have to be kind to ourselves. The pressures of the economic pressures, work pressures, doing this, doing that. There's so many pressures. So a child being entertained, it is what it is.
And at the same time, you can kind of look at what their history is of what they're searching. Because if you're looking on their explore page, it's bringing up things that they're searching for regularly. So without them knowing, you can have a little. Normally it's dog videos with my youngest, so it's quite safe.
I think like my daughter's going through the crush stage. When she got into senior school, it was all about crushes and things. And I know Kyla's just going to be, it's all going to be about universities and things like that. But yeah, you have to be careful. And I do trust them. I think that's a big thing, isn't it? Having that closeness. Yeah.
With my eldest, he was never on social media. He's gone off to uni, but I think that's because he's interacting more. But he was just never bothered. So it really hit with my second one. He's more social, he wants to be out there, he's a lad's lad. He's the one that probably worries me a little bit more because he's a bit more streetwise, I suppose.
Did you watch that programme, what's it called, about the little boy that kills, what was it called? Adolescence. Did you watch Adolescence?
Yes.
Did it?
Yeah, that was scary. Yeah.
Did you watch it with him? No, why?
No. Well, it's very rare. He's got a really overactive mind. So it's very rare that he will actually sit down and watch a programme.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really struggle to get mine to watch a full film. But that's one thing that I do manage to try and get done with them. Like, turn TikTok off.
Yeah.
Turn your phone off.
And just watch
bite-size information or bite-size entertainment is not good. Lock in on something, focus.
That's one of the things that I feel like I'm struggling with, actually finding something that we all want to do. No one actually, I say very often, no one wants to spend time with me anymore. Like, I'll book time off in the school holidays or move work around, and then I'm just on
Is that
my
because
own.
you've got a boy and a girl?
I think because they're all different ages.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like they don't actually want to spend time with me anymore.
Yeah, I think I get that sometimes. And it's almost like my youngest, without divulging everything, but my youngest, I can tell, is getting nervous, I think, about being on her own with me. And that's a lot to take in and a lot to process because, I've got a 12-year-old and an 18-year-old. And when my 18-year-old leaves, it's almost like one of her parents has gone because she only had that one parent. We had
that with Lee. We had it as well.
How did he cope? Like, how was that?
I think it probably affected the two younger ones more so because he was the eldest, so he left. It's almost like the man of the house left.
Really?
Because he used to fix things for everyone, and if I was in work, without even giving him that role, I suppose he did parent them a little bit and looked out for them. So it definitely changed the balance.
How did you manage it, navigate it? What did you do?
It's taken some time, but I feel like it's also brought the younger two out of the shell a little bit more.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it's brought some of the bad behaviours out as well, but it's allowed them to be a bit louder and a bit more...
Because they've got a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think if you're in the shadow of a sibling, it will be interesting to see when that sibling goes and who comes to life. She's got the full stage kind of thing.
Yeah. With my middle one as well, it was almost like towards the end when my eldest was going off to uni, it was like a battle. He got this almost like this raging male energy coming out, my middle one. And it was almost like he was waiting to take over, like I'm the big boy of the house. Yeah.
Aww.
He was waiting to take that role.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. But one thing she has said to me is, because her dad, and this was really kind of upsetting, because she went to Jamaica on a family holiday with her dad, and she came back and she was just like, I've been around, it was a wedding, so there was a big family.
Yeah.
Her dad's partner has a big family, and she was really like upset. I'm used to being around big family. My youngest is such a people person. She's just like me. She needs people around her. And she was really upset, and then she was just like, and then it's just going to be me and you kind of thing. And I
think it's the curiosity as well, because with mine, especially with my youngest, she can't remember me and her dad being together.
Yeah.
So I can remember when she
Ava.
was probably about 3, I said something about remembering the old house when me and Daddy lived there. She went, you lived with my daddy? It was almost like she never made the connection that we were ever together. So I think for her, well, for all 3 of them, maybe the curiosity of what it would be like to have a family all together, because for most of their childhood, what they've known is just me and them.
And your oldest, and now he's gone. That's a kind of a safe.
So I think there's always the curiosity of, what would it feel like to live with a mum and a dad together?
That's really interesting. Is that something that...
Or maybe that's my, not insecurity, but maybe I feel, it's just something that I feel, I'm not sure.
So why, because you've been a single mum for 10 years, I've been a single mum for, I'm going to say, 12, 13. So it's been a while for us both. And we're not short of offers. I know you're not. You're a beautiful, beautiful woman. Why haven't we? Why haven't we remarried? Why haven't we secured?
We're too pussy.
Maybe. I think maybe it's just you. I don't know, but
I think for me, it's the fear of what will that other person change in regards to the dynamics of what I've built.
Yeah.
And when I say that quite confidently, because it's took me a long time to get to where I am now as a mom and a woman and a business owner. And I'm scared of rocking the boat, because it works. Everything works okay.
Everything.
What will, and well, what would another person do?
Yeah.
It's got to be someone that would be able to add value to all of our lives. And that's hard to find. And then it's also taking the risk of, I never really wanted to introduce lots of different people. So it's taking that risk of, okay, if I try it, or if it doesn't work out, and how will it affect them?
And you can never.
If they were younger,
I always find it difficult, because if I'm interested in someone and I'm thinking, potential, I'm never even going to consider them in my heart or my head or whatever until I see them interact with the most important things in my life. It's like I could have the perfect person and we get on really well, but when they're around my kids, they're a bit awkward, or they just don't gel. So it's like,
or you can see that it's not comfortable.
So it's when it comes to introducing people to my kids, I think we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace. And I've said this to them, I've tried to explain to them, because I know a lot of men would probably find it easier to go and find, the dad will find it easier to go and find a new partner. But
definitely.
If they're not living with someone full time, then they haven't got that dynamic.
It's easy. They can date on, I don't know, most men probably have their kids every other weekend. It means that they've actually got 24, 26 days out of the month where they can date. Whereas the mom has just got a couple.
I really don't think it's even a time thing we need to think about, because you're going to see moms complain about not having enough time for this or not having, I'm thinking the emotional load, like even if a man does 50% and a woman does 50%, I feel like if you are the person that makes shit happen for your kid, and you are the person that they project on, or they need, and you're the nurturer, the carer, and the primary nurturer, then you are giving so much. You haven't got enough left in your cup.
Yeah.
And it's almost like now, as I've reached this, we've both, done 10 years of this.
Yeah.
I feel like I have developed like a mechanism where I can rejuvenate myself in such a way that I don't really need a guy to do that.
Yeah. I think it's looking at all aspects of your life, isn't it? Like your well-being, spending time with your friends, your family. And I'm definitely more about that now, making sure that I know that I still burn myself out regularly, and I don't think that can be helped as a single mom. I think you're always going to get that no matter how much you nurture and look after yourself. But I definitely take time, and I'm more intentional now with looking after myself and do, like
Having
you
the
say,
boundaries.
refilling the cup. Yeah,
Having those boundaries.
definitely. And saying no sometimes to the kids, whereas before I definitely was one of those parents that overcompensated, and I'd push myself to my limits because I'd think, oh, they've only got me to do this, or I'm going to get it them, or I'm going to give it to them, or I'll take them to so-and-so. Whereas now I have to say, I'll stop and I'll say, listen, this is my life as well. And you've got to understand, we'll do this, but I want to do that as well. And they understand a little bit more now.
That's good.
But I probably should have set those boundaries earlier on.
Well, there we go. There's a tip for any moms that have, any single moms that have kids. Definitely take the fact that you have something in you that will make you overcompensate. That's your mom guilt. That's your internal feeling that you need to work on, and not allow it to delay the boundaries that are inevitable, because you will have to put them in place for your own well-being and for your kids' well-being, but don't delay them because you are feeling guilty. And
even small one, like now we're coming out the other side of it actually. We've had, like, I've called it a digital sunset, so at 9 p.m. no one's allowed on their phones. Everyone's phones and screens, including my own, they all go off, and we don't have them in the bedrooms now. I have mine by my bedroom door. How do you stop it though? Do they respect you? Because that's... Not at first. We had fights, and there was screaming, there was crying like babies, but I had to stop it because I found that I was so tired, I was falling to sleep, and they were going back online. And I'd wake up for the toilet at 2 a.m. and they'd be online on a screen night. Fridays and Saturdays, I've got no limits. They can do whatever they want to whatever time, within reason, obviously. But if they want to stay online late, that's up to them. They can make up their sleep the next day. But from Sunday night through till the end of the week, we all turn off now.
That's really good,
I should have set that earlier, because we got to a stage where it had become a little bit out of control, if I'm honest, because I used to sleep downstairs, so I couldn't be as on the ball with them. So if they went back online, I wasn't on top of it, whereas now I'm upstairs in the next bedroom.
This is why conversation and podcasts are so important, because you're constantly learning, you're constantly making mistakes, you're constantly feeling inadequate, you're constantly developing. And for me, I've had to kind of almost apologise to my eldest, because she's had a different version of me. I don't know if you've felt like this, but you learn on the first one and then the second, and then you get a bit better as a mum.
Yeah, my eldest will very often say, you wouldn't have ever let me do that, or I was never allowed to do it that way.
Yeah. But even
I was harder on him.
But I mean, also just being emotionally available. Yeah. I think
definitely
she's looking at me and being like, you weren't that available for me. You might have been there more, or, doing more because you didn't have a career like you have a career now. Yeah. In terms of emotional availability, because we were going through so much trauma.
Yeah.
So
I suppose we were fixing ourselves at the same time as we were trying to navigate life as a single mom.
yeah, and grow.
And when I look back now, sometimes I feel guilty for some of the things that I've said, done, or that I've not got things right. But I look back and I think, actually, no, you did the best with what you knew at that time. And I think I suppose I've forgiven myself for some of my, not just parenting, but life choices, really. Previous life choices.
Yeah. I think if anyone could take anything away from this, two single moms have made lots of mistakes and have learned, and I'm happy with my life right now. I think that's the ultimate thing I always say is like, I really want to be a beacon of hope for single moms that are going through the trenches and trying to piece together their life, their career, their love life, their self-esteem, their kids. Repair is going to be your best friend.
Yeah.
Because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to not do the best because you're not going to be the best. That doesn't exist. But repair and being able to say, you know what, you weren't to blame for this. Mummy didn't show up emotionally, or she didn't handle this well, or she lost her temper and she shouldn't.
And I think being able to apologise, because sometimes even now, if I'm really tired, I'll snap and then I'm like, oh, why have I done that? And straight away I'll apologise. And I think that makes such a big difference, because my kids know now that if they, even when they're being a bit snappy themselves as teenagers, it's okay to apologise and we can start again.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not one of those mums that's like really woo-woo and grounded and let's all just be connected and you know, free from all contempt and like, there's a lot of this going around, like, where we've all got to be like, but the reality is that's not life and that's not what's out there. So if I'm fucking annoyed and like I'm giving them, you know, I'm saying get out my face, like that's okay. Like
it's the personal space thing. Sometimes you just want, when you're feeling like that, you just want that personal space. And I mean, I've had it before where I've had enough and I'm like, I'm just going to go and sit in the toilet for 2 minutes. I sit on the toilet and there's one of them there, even at the ages that they are now. And I'm like, just give me 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it, to talk and offload, or?
Sometimes, they just want to offload. I found this a lot with my eldest, actually. He wouldn't speak to me all day.
Yeah.
And then, like, 10:30 at night, he'd come and sit on the end of the bed and he'd have a deep conversation about the most random thing. But my brain had already switched off and I wanted to give him the time, but I felt like saying, come back to me at 9 o'clock in the morning when my brain's switched on. I can give you the time that you deserve, because my eyes would be like dropping because I'd be that tired.
What is it with teenagers needing to talk late at night?
Yeah.
Like, it's something to do with the melatonin, isn't it? Or something released that means that, I don't know, but I've read so many books in terms of teenage parenting and the mom's just saying get ready for the midnight, because you're so happy that they're like wanting to connect with you because they've told you to go away all day.
Even now, like, I'm an early riser. I'll get up between 5:30 and 6:15 every morning without fail, and I'll have some really early morning texts occasionally and I'm like, are you still up? Yes, Mum, I'm still up from last night.
Oh my goodness.
And he stayed up because he's doing a fine art degree.
Oh wow.
So if he's engaged in a piece of work, he'll think nothing of just blasting 12 hours out all through the night. I mean, I wish I'd got that energy.
Yeah, but you can't blame an artist for...
Yeah, he just goes with it, because there can be days where he doesn't even want to put the pencil to paper. So if I get a text before 10 a.m, I know that he's up from the night before.
Other than nattering to you all day, I really want to get some insight into your expertise on One, the rules of Botox changing, because I know that that's going to massively send waves in the industry.
Yes.
So I'd love to get your insight of that. And then two, hair loss. Having some. I turned 40 this year and I know my hair wants to do one. So I would love to understand the new systems and technologies that are available, because to be honest, in terms of comparing my hair to my mother's, I know I'm doing okay because of Olaplex and all these wonderful new technologies we have, but I know you've got a new one. So firstly, what are the new rules? What are going to be the new rules with Botox?
So the regulations with Botox, nothing has been fully set in stone as to yet, apart from they've brought out a rule that from the 1st of June, nobody can have Botox without having a face-to-face consultation with a nurse, doctor, or some other form of prescriber. Now, if you was to go and see a nurse, this is normal practice if they're already a prescriber, whereas if you go into a non-medic or if you go into a nurse that's not a prescriber, going forward you'll have to see a prescriber before your prescription can be ordered.
Wow.
So the process at the moment, it's quite common practice for practitioners to use a remote prescriber. So if you were coming in for Botox, we would do a consultation. I would then send your forms, your consultation forms, to a prescriber. They will check through if you're on any medication, if you've got any health concerns, any allergies. If they're happy with that, they will put it through then and you can order a prescription. Whereas going forward, that won't be able to happen. So you would still come and have a consultation with me. You would then need to have a face-to-face consultation with a prescriber.
Just someone random?
It'll be like a nurse or a...
Could you do that online with someone?
No.
Really?
It's got to be faced. That's where the change... So at the moment, it'll be either an online one or you could do... Some people do FaceTime.
Right.
That's quite common practice, but going forward, all of that's going to stop. And
so it means that someone like yourself, who I know that you're investing in getting all the qualifications.
Yeah. So it just makes it harder, really. It makes it a little bit more long-winded for the client.
So what are you doing?
So I have got a local prescriber who, at the moment, I'm just speaking to them. I don't actually do loads of Botox. It's more of an add-on treatment for me in addition to skin. So if I want to carry on doing Botox, I will use a local prescriber. They'll come in on a clinic day and do probably, I mean, it's not all been set in stone yet, but I think we'll probably get all of the Botox clients in on one sitting so that they can all have their consultations on the same day. And it means that I've just got to pay the prescriber for that one day.
Right.
But it's just an added cost.
So Botox is going to go up.
It will increase the cost of the treatment. So that's what's happening right now. And then going forward, we haven't got dates for this, but there's talks that if you want to carry on doing aesthetics, you will need a level 7 qualification. So in order for me to do my level 7, it's going to take another 3 years of training.
Wow. And this is massive for the industry.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's the cost of 3 years of training to train you in something that you've done.
And there's no funding. So if you was to go to uni and do a level 7 equivalent, which is a degree, you would get funding for that. You would get student finance, grants and all sorts of things, whereas this is all self-funded. So 3 years and £9,000 to do the training.
Wow. So we can expect our Botox to go up. I have been trying my hardest to go Botox free for a long time, but honestly, as a woman, I just feel kind of not trapped, but I wish that I wasn't not brainwashed either, but just if I when people ask me what do I spend most of my money on, like my spare money, if I really calculate it, it's vanity. It's things to make me look a certain way, and I hate that.
Same.
But you're in the beauty industry and you know how it makes women feel and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just...
I think it's an investment though, and as much as I love seeing all of these celebrities who are not having it done. I love that.
I do.
But it's not for me.
I've tried. I'm just not strong enough. I'm just literally not strong enough. I know that I could potentially get to that level of self-esteem where I'm just like, you know, just myself, wrinkles, greys, everything. I would just love to get to that. I'm just not there yet. Yeah. But the seed's there and I'm trying. And I hope to get there.
I think it's how it makes us look and feel as well. Like, I like a certain look. I don't like having lots of aesthetics and work done, but I like to look after my skin in terms of like texture and I suppose the quality of the skin. So I would rather invest and spend my money on good skincare.
Yeah.
And facials, and I also am partial to a bit of Botox.
Yeah, aren't we all? On top of all the Botox changes, there's been some changes in your treatment offer, and I'm really excited to have this because I've been wanting it for a while. I've known about it for a while when my boyfriend had some torn ligaments and he went and got some PRP. Yeah. PRP, not PIP, that's the benefit. PRP injections, and he had them in his ligaments to help rebuild his ligaments. Now they're doing it for hair loss now, aren't they? So what's involved with that?
So it's amazing. It's my latest treatment. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. So we take the blood from the arm, it's put into a machine, it spins it rapidly and separates the plasma from the blood. Once you've separated, the plasma can be used for lots of different things, but it's a natural collagen stimulator and helps with cell growth. Right. So in terms of what it would do for your skin and hair, you can have it microneedled or you can have it injected. It helps with thinning hair, hair loss. It's a post-treatment for anyone who's had a hair transplant.
Right.
So lots of men are having hair transplants, and then this is the designated aftercare treatment. You can have it microneedled or injected into the face, and that helps to rejuvenate the skin, gives amazing anti-aging benefits.
Amazing. Have you done it on yourself?
Not yet, no, because I can't take my own blood, but I do know someone who does it as well, and she's offered to take my blood. So, yeah, watch this space.
Oh, amazing. So, you know, is there some people that have more platelets in their blood than others, would you say? Or
there is, yeah. And most people can have this treatment done, because I know I've had lots of messages saying, oh, is it right for me? If they're unsure, they can always drop me a message, but it is suitable for most people.
Okay, I'm excited to see the results, and I will be sure to post my results on my Instagram, Hayley Brown & Co. And yeah, so all this like mommy hormonal hair loss is hopefully going to get grown back a little bit. How many treatments do you think?
Generally 6 to 8 treatments. It just depends on how your body takes to it, and also your blood. It all determines how much plasma we can get.
So 6 treatments over a period of?
6 treatments over around 6 months.
6 months. Okay, watch this space. Before Christmas, I'm going to have luscious locks coming out of my hairline. Thank you so much, Leanne.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I wish we had more time to do, because I'm desperate to get the hair, but she's fully booked. It's hard to get an appointment with her. Please connect with her on Instagram, which is
Edge Studio UK.
Edge Studio UK. And yeah, thanks for being on Inadequate Mother.
Thank you.
Subscribe, and then obviously you're going to be able to see my results. The YouTube channel is allowing access with sign language, and obviously the podcast is on all relevant podcast platforms. So thanks for listening, and comment below any questions you have, any insight, or any, comments you had about this podcast. We would love to connect with you. I really want to create a community of moms, single moms, where, especially with the likes of lovely Leanne, because she's experienced. I've been through the trenches too. And I think just paying it forward, giving it back, and just giving other moms that are younger a little bit of hope.
A head start.
Yes. It's not all doom and gloom. You'll be out of it soon.